Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the videos. I really appreciate all of the continued support. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss today. So before we dive into these topics, do me a big favor. If you do end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, make sure you leave it a like. Really helps the videos out more than you know. And if you are new here to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. The first topic we're talking about is a new title that is being developed for PlayStation VR 2. This is reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, where they say First Contact Entertainment, the developer for the successful PSVR game Firewall 0 Hour, is working on an unannounced game for PSVR 2, opening up the possibility that it may be a sequel to their multiplayer shooter. The game director of the studio reveals on his LinkedIn page that he is currently working on an unannounced title for PSVR 2 and is also creating additional seasonal content for the original Firewall 0 Hour, which is currently in Season 9, called Operation Rogue Tide. The news follows naturally after First Contact Entertainment posted job listings for several positions asking for new employees who want to create the next generation of VR. In fact, at the time of this writing, the developer has 2 full-time job positions open. One for level designer and another for mission designer, with the description for the level designer listing asking for someone willing to tackle the challenge of creating the next generation of VR. Fans hearing about the unannounced game on the PS5 Reddit have responded fairly well, with some hoping that it will be a Firewall 0 Hour sequel, or at least something similar to it. With the power of the PSVR 2 headset and the PS5, they want to see a multiplayer shooter which fixes some of the issues of the original game, including the long lobby wait times and only single round matches. So I wanted to let you guys know about this because we are patiently waiting for Sony to do a proper PlayStation VR 2 event. They're going to have to do that at some point in the not too distant future to reveal the launch lineup for PSVR 2, and it makes me wonder if this is one of the games that we can expect to see. I do think it sounds pretty awesome. I am a fan of multiplayer FPS games, and I never got to experience something like that in virtual reality. I did not play PSVR 1, so the idea that I could experience something like that or the next gen version of something like this in PSVR 2 sounds very appealing to me. So I'm looking forward to this game being revealed, and it does sound like it could in fact be a follow-up or a sequel to Firewall 0 Hour. But something else I do want to mention here before we move on to the next topic is that we have been hearing rumors that Sony has internally delayed the release schedule for PlayStation VR 2 to early 2023. And so it makes it a little bit more difficult to determine when exactly we can expect to see games like this revealed for PlayStation VR 2, but nonetheless, we know that quite a few developers are working on PSVR 2 projects right now, and we know that Sony is hopefully going to have a strong launch lineup for this new hardware. And so I'm very much looking forward to seeing some of these games revealed. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this game and if it's something that you would play if you plan to pick up PSVR 2. We're moving to the next topic though, which is something that I do find pretty interesting, and that is the fact that a PlayStation 5 stock increase has led to better sales for not only the console obviously, but for many PlayStation exclusive titles as well. This is reading from WCCF Tech, where it says an increase in the availability of the PS5 stock across the United Kingdom led to vastly improved weekly sales for exclusives such as GT7 and Horizon Forbidden West, which jumped to the 2nd and 3rd place on the chart according to Games Industry. Polyphony Digital's racing game sold 163% more than in the previous week when it was at the number 7th spot, while Guerrilla's open world action RPG surged by an impressive 307%. The same actually applies to other first-party PS5 exclusives. Insomniac's launch title Spider-Man Miles Morales ranked 15th with a 302% sales spike over the previous week, though the most impressive week-over-week increase was registered by Insomniac's most recent release, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which sold 709% more. Even Tango Gameworks' Ghostwire Tokyo experienced a 210% surge, while Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut was up 464% compared to the previous week. It is likely that Sony made an effort to ensure better PS5 stock availability in time for the Easter price promotions. However, the chip shortage is still very much an issue. The Japanese company previously had to cut sales estimates for the PS5 console due to this ongoing problem, thus inevitably falling behind launch-aligned PlayStation 4 sales. Now, I wanted to take a few minutes here to cover this and highlight it because I think there are two important things we can take away from it. The first is the most obvious, that yes, Sony is still struggling when it comes to PS5 supply and making sure there's enough. Obviously, that is a lingering issue that is not going away anytime soon, but hopefully it will be gone by the time we enter 2023, or at the very least maybe this holiday season. But when there is stock, when people are able to pick up PS5s, we are noticing once again that they are picking up these games with it. In other words, people are waiting to play many of these cross-gen games. Now, when we look at a game like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, it sold 709% more compared to the previous week. That is a PS5 only title, and it makes sense why people are going to pick that up with their PS5. But I'm more interested in looking at games like GT7 and Horizon Forbidden West, which are seeing huge sales spikes here alongside PS5 sales, and it just goes to show that a lot of people, just like with Spider-Man Miles Morales, are going to wait until they have the new hardware. They don't want to play the inferior version on the PS4. They are willing to wait. Now, obviously, that's not everybody, but I think that these statistics continue to reveal just why we need to move on from the PS4. Cross-gen or not, there are millions of people who are going to wait to buy these games until they can get the best version of them. And so I think this actually is a good sign, believe it or not, for current-gen only games. I think that some people are worried that we're going to continue to get more cross-gen games from Sony because of the PS5 supply issue, and I don't think that's likely. I think after this year, after the release specifically of God of War Ragnarok, I think cross-gen is going to be done for Sony, and going forward, we can just expect to see PS5 only titles. I think that's pretty much what everybody is anticipating, even those who don't own a PlayStation 5. I've actually seen people say that, look, I don't have a PS5, I'm planning to get one at some point in the future, but I think the time for cross-gen is over, and I think that pretty much says it all. So let me know what you guys think about that down below. We're moving on to the final topic here, which I think is a really interesting one because it seems to subtly confirm something that I have been saying the past couple of weeks. For anybody who's been following me or watching my content or my podcast, you'll know that I've been pointing out the fact that Sony doesn't really have anything lined up right now other than God of War Ragnarok, at least from their first party. I'm not talking about third party. And we don't even have a release date for God of War Ragnarok. This has led to some concern, I guess if you want to call it that, across the internet from some people claiming that Sony is in trouble right now. They don't have any games ready to show, they don't have anything lined up, they're going to fall behind, so on and so forth. And I kind of pushed back against that notion a little bit by saying it seems more likely to me that Sony actually has a lot ready to show, but they're just not ready to show it at this exact moment. They're going to be showing it very soon. And in other words, I kind of called it the calm before the storm. And I think a lot of people did agree with that as well. But we are referring to a new article from MP First, where we are essentially seeing a PlayStation Studios developer claim that Sony has some bangers that are going to be out this year, not including God of War Ragnarok, but will be equally cool. So reading here, it says, with Gran Turismo 7's release in March, Sony has 0 first-party AAA games set for release later this year, which we suspect will change soon unless the company plans to not release any big games for the next 8 months, which we highly doubt. While no announcements have been made, one PlayStation developer has teased that there are some, quote, bangers, end quote, set for this year, and nope, it's not God of War Ragnarok. Over on Twitter, PlayStation Studios visual arts dev Robert Morrison teased this, and in future tweets, confirmed that he wasn't referring to God of War, and there seems to be a game that has been in development for 3 to 5 years now and is about to be revealed. And so if you go over to his Twitter, this is pretty much what he's saying. He's making it clear that Sony has some other games, I mean, he says bangers, so that implies it's more than one, that are set to be revealed, you would assume very soon, if he's making it sound like they're going to be releasing before the end of the year. Now, I don't know if I believe this per se. By that, I mean, I don't know if Sony is necessarily going to be revealing that many games right now or very soon that are also going to be releasing before the end of this year. However, I did always kind of think to myself, just having God of War Ragnarok and Forspoken, I mean, yeah, that's good, and I think a lot of people would think that's more than enough, but to me it always kind of felt like, well, maybe just squeezing in one more game to go alongside God of War Ragnarok and Forspoken, that seems very realistic to me, and something that wouldn't surprise me that much, and I think would make a lot of sense for Sony to try to do. But I wanted to point this out and talk about it with you guys because, you know, a lot of people are thinking he's referring to the Last of Us remake, and I think that that is definitely possible. I think that's certainly plausible. We can assume that the Last of Us remake, if it's real, will be revealed very soon, likely alongside the Last of Us Online game. Now, maybe the Last of Us Online could launch before the end of this year or by the end of this year. I think that's also possible. But nonetheless, I fully anticipate that Sony has not just one, not two, not three, but a lot of games that are ready to be talked about. And it seems to me that even PlayStation Studios developers are getting eager to start talking about and showing off what they've been working on for the past 2, 3, 4, 5+ years. I mean, if that was you, I'm sure you would be eager to talk about it as well. So while Sony is still being very quiet and the news has been dry and there just really hasn't been much going on, I still remain committed to the idea that this is simply the calm before the storm, and I think a lot of exciting things are going to be happening in the coming weeks. And I know that people are feeling like they're getting tired of waiting and they're getting tired of the rumors, but if you follow this cycle, you'll know that this is just kind of par for the course. We get the kind of rumors circulating and really kind of hitting a peak at some point right before Sony actually does something. So yeah, this is the latest we have coming from a PlayStation Studios developer, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, leave it a like if you did. Make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.